Elsewhere, US Secretary of State John Kerry has become the first person in his position to visit Hiroshima in Japan in 70 years. He, along with other ministers attending the G7 meeting, visited the Hiroshima Peace Memorial and Museum on the last day of the two-day summit. The ministers issued a statement where they called on a world without nuclear weapons and pointed to North Korea as a main challenge to achieving that goal. Kerry said the memorial is a palpable reminder of the cost of war.
It tugs at all of your sensibilities as a human being. It reminds everybody of the extraordinary complexity of choices in war and of what war does to people, to communities, countries, to the world. This was a display that I will personally never forget. I don't see how anyone could forget the images, the evidence, and the recreations of what happened in August 6, 1945.
Well, Mayu Yoshida joins us now from the Japanese capital with more on this. May, we saw John Kerry there. Just explain to us how significant his visit to Hiroshima was.
Well, he did just become the first U.S. Secretary of State. Now, I remember to visit the Hiroshima Peace Park. Now, I remember a lot of American tourists visiting the park and the A-bomb museum when I went to Hiroshima a few months ago. But amazingly, no serving U.S. Secretary of State has ever been there. But this all changed today. I guess you could say that Kerry's visit just grabbed most of the headlines related to this G7 meeting, because he did become the first U.S. Secretary of State to visit the Hiroshima Peace Park, joined by his counterparts in the city. Now, they offered flowers and prayers for the 140,000 people killed in Hiroshima over 70 years ago. Now, Kerry did not offer any apology for the use of atomic bombings by the Americans during the World War II, but he did write in a guest book at the museum that it was a stark, harsh, compelling reminder not only of our obligation to end the threat of nuclear weapons, but to eradicate all efforts to avoid war itself. But Japan actually wants more now. They actually want the U.S. President Barack Obama to visit the Hiroshima Park next month during the G7 Leaders Summit for more commitments to drastically reduce nuclear weapons.
As you mentioned, it was John Kerry's visit that really stole the headlines. But what else was discussed for the foreign ministers there?
Sure. Well, the foreign ministers actually talked about a lot of things, posing against provocation in the East and South China Seas, apparently talking about territorial disputes involving China, and called on countries to obey maritime laws. Now, they also talked about extremism following the Brussels attacks and nuclear non-proliferation, including North Korea's missile launches, as well as the situation over the Middle East. But the meeting wasn't held in Hiroshima for specific reasons, and Japan is that is to send a message of peace.
Okay, Mary, thank you very much.